True Life News Show today. Guys, we have a very special show today. Remember, at the end, tonight is the night where we're going to be doing our giving back to local charity live on stream. But I want to get into the news first. Guys, the fight is about to begin. What side are you on? We got some big news pertaining to the showdown between our president and the Supreme Court. Trump said they are standing in the way of American safety and protection. And if anything happens, it's on them. The Supreme Court is coming out against Trump's deportation of the illegals in a different way. Trump said Biden brought in illegals using taxpayer dollars on planes, on buses. He just let them in. The Supreme Court did not intervene whatsoever. Now that I am trying to deport them, they are putting up a fight. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. With what is happening now, we saw for 4 years 20 million illegals coming in. Nobody said a thing. No courts were involved. Supreme Court did nothing. And now they're putting up a fight. It is crazy to say this, but speaking at the White House today, Trump said he literally stood in and just said his administration's immigration agenda of deporting some very bad people is being halted by the Supreme Court. He said this includes killers, murderers, drug dealers. We're trying to make America safe again. I didn't think that the Supreme Court, with most of them being conservative judges, would be able or acting the way that they are, but they could be, in a sense, corrupt. I'm starting to question it, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because it makes no sense that they are fighting Trump or even siding against him on deporting these people that came in illegally. They were not vetted. They were not put through the right process, and now the Democrats are trying to keep them here to stay. We do have some updated news, guys, when it comes to the DOGE. The DOGE team, Elon Musk running DOGE, he has stated now that Elon Musk has stated that we know that there are organized protests that are happening right now against the Trump agenda and Tesla that is paid for by the Soros organization. They're trying to destroy America from within by creating confusion and bankrupting America. And we have to fight back or we won't have a country. So Elon said that there is the large slug of work necessary to get the DOGE team in place is mostly done. So starting next month, his time allocation to DOGE will drop significantly. We've already put in a lot of things in place. Guys, this is where Elon Musk is slowly going to make his way out of the DOGE team. But we have the big news that he is going to still be an advisor to President Trump and be taking a senior advisor role in deciding what happens when it comes to the overall status of the economy and what's happening in America with its safety. Remember, Elon Musk is in Texas. He says we need safety at the most crucial part, and that is our southern border. Let me know your thoughts. Should Elon be staying? Are you cool with him going? They're still going to be working on all the DOGE savings and the DOGE dividend checks, everybody. But he's going to be stepping aside because he said getting them into place is mostly done. And, guys, this is a beautiful piece of news that just came out moments ago. Representative Brandon Gill, who's a representative, says that he's going to be working to charge the Democratic senators who are going to El Salvador and trying to bring this MS-13 terrorist back to the United States with the Logan Act. He said this is undermining President Trump's foreign policy to protect MS-13 terrorists, and they need to be held accountable, and we can use the Logan Act to criminally charge them for going against Trump's foreign policy. Let me know if you're ready to see some people hit the prison doors, guys. We have been waiting. Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, hopefully Bongino, get some people held accountable, put their butts in jail for the corruption. Want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, guys, all of our subscribers, all of our viewers. If you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family. Guys, we are so thankful that you're here with us today. Remember, at the end of this show, this is our big show for us. We're going to be donating thousands and thousands of dollars to a local charity live on stream. Whenever you donate through a super chat or you're a member, we take that money and we give it back to a local charity live on stream, guys. this channel is doing great things and is changing lives. We're bringing the truth and we're changing lives. I want to give some love to just all of our members, to everybody that's given a super chat donation. And want to say, if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button. Guys, we're starting off the show hard and fiery today. Ruby Hoove and Mr. Tracy J. Norby already gifting some TrueLife News memberships. Let's go. Y'all showed them some love in the chat. Mr. Norby with 10. Guys, growing the TrueLife News family. This is some big, big news, guys. We're going to get into it in just a moment. But Trump is ready for the showdown with the courts, specifically the Supreme Court. Check this out.
Every time we think Democrats hit rock bottom, they go lower. A new Gallup poll shows only 25% of people have confidence in Democrat leadership, an all-time low. They've lost their touch. The hoaxes aren't sticking, and the media is dead.
I think the message that comes from the Democratic Party is a good message. The problem we've got, is that we have to depend upon the media to deliver it. When you got people saying we're not going to fact check, we're not going to worry about whether or not you're telling the truth, and just let the reports go out there, that's what's killing us as Democrats.
There's no Democrat media machine without the media. They're out of weapons.
We're at that part of the movie where there's a gunfight and the guy, and then click, click. There's no more bullets in the gun. We have no power.
Democrats are in such a bad spot, Charlie Kirk and Bill Maher found something to agree on.
When you spoke against the woke, that for me was a proving moment. And I have to say something, and this is 100% true. You had more moral courage than pastors that I know that went along with the woke crazy train. And you deserve credit for that because it was of high cost.
Until we get rid of that, they're never going to win another election.
I agree.
Kamala kamikazed her campaign so hard, she united the country. We're finding out where some of that $2 billion went. Kamala paid LeBron James $50,000 after he endorsed her.
Wow.
You got ripped off. Oprah got $1 million.
Guys, is that not the most fakest support you've ever seen? Like, guys, it's one thing to do a show, but just for an endorsement, you get $50,000 with all the money that this guy has, guys? Tell me, is the Democratic Party not the most fakest supported party? They pay protesters to show up. They pay people to show up at the rallies. You got to be kidding me.
Kamala sent her donors money to her billionaire friends, but the problem with the Democrats is they operate in the shadows. When they mess up, they don't admit it. They just knife each other in the dark. They never talked about Biden's health until he got cooed. Senator Liz Warren still won't admit she lied. Watch.
Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him. You said that up until July of last year.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
It was a lie.
I said I had not seen decline. And I hadn't at that point. He was sharp. He was on his feet. I saw him. Live event. I had meetings with him a couple of times.
Senator, on his feet is not praise. He can speak in sentences is not praise.
Right.
Biden just put this picture out on Easter. Something doesn't look right here. Where are Biden's legs?
Yeah, guys, this is photoshopped, guys. This is not real. Golly. It's bad. I'm just saying it's bad.
Why is he in a full suit on his porch?
He looks odd.
Looks kind of photoshopped. Is he okay? Did something happen to Joe? This is why the new honcho at the DNC, Dave Hogg, wants fresh blood. But the old guard isn't going down easy. Carville called him a twerp. Now Hogg wants to rumble.
Carville believes in a politics of being timid, of hiding. I believe in fighting. We can't simply just hide, as Carville repeatedly promotes, not to mention the fact that, frankly, he has not won an election since before I was born. I think it's time for some new voices in our party.
AOC thinks this is her time to shine. She's been rallying big crowds across the country with Burn Dog, but not every Democrat's aroused.
It's not about the big crowds that come out to you when you're talking in a festival or wherever they are. It's who shows up on election day.
Yep.
And I just don't see that's the ticket. You don't really think AOC should be the candidate, do you?
No. I mean, no, I'm not saying, I mean, like, it's not my job to pick who the candidate is going to be.
Oh, it's mine.
Yes.
And it's not, it shouldn't be her.
Maybe you should talk to the president.
Ooh. Guys, let me tell you this. If we're not seeing the biggest change across the world for Trump, I don't know what we're seeing. I've got to show you this because this is getting very, very deep, guys. President Trump blasts the courts for getting in the way of the deportation agenda. So at 1 a.m. in the morning, the courts come and they side on the leftist Democrat side to stop Trump from deporting Venezuelan, these immigrants. Remember, these are the same immigrants that were flown here on planes. Over 300,000 of them, amounting to 500,000 of them. Guys, if you appreciate a president who is actually fighting, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. Remember, at the end of the show, we're doing our big donation to the local charity. Thank you so much for your support. Right now, President Trump has come out and said that these rulings are slowing down the deportation. We are not protecting Americans. Americans could be losing their lives because what? The Supreme Court made a decision in the midst of the night. They normally never do this. And now we've had already 2 justices that have come out and dissented the decision and said nothing good can come when you're trying to make a judgment at 1 a.m. in the morning. Let me know your thoughts, guys, because it's getting deeper. There's so much things I'm about to show you guys. I hope you're seated. Get your popcorn out because this is getting real, guys. And want to give some love to Teresa Weber for the super chat. Let's go. She says, investigate communications sent to SCOTUS. Threatened. They best stand up for USA citizens or they are corrupt. God bless. Y'all show Teresa some love in the chat. When you listen to this, guys, we're talking about people that are in the know. Check this out.
I wonder why he hasn't taken Congress to the woodshed. The only chance we have is cut our regulation dramatically. Pass the REINS Act, okay? Pass the REINS Act. Pass that, cut the regulation at least by half. Then
unleash the animal spirits.
Yes, give me 15, 15, 15 in taxes. 15% capital gains, 15% for the average person. Make it 17, 17, 17. I don't care. But that incentivizes the entrepreneur. I can start my own business. 70% of all jobs begin with small businesses.
Yes.
We've got to incentivize those people. And that's Congress. And they're sitting around like they did after they won the Tea Party. They're going to be responsible for losing this whole thing. They've got to move.
What do you say about the investigations, the deep state, everything we know about Brennan? Okay, talk about that. We only got a couple of minutes. Our audience, one thing they get furious about is...
I'm pissed.
And Pam and Cash are as good as you get. What's the problem?
Right here, guys.
Your audience the same way. They're steamed.
Oh, yeah. You know, you can do an awful lot of stuff, but until you start putting bad guys in jail, I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
And you know a sense of urgency. It's not like we have this forever.
No.
I mean, if Hakeem Jeffries wins in 18 months, which is not outside the possibility to raise $2 billion,
we're done.
They're going to impeach Trump.
We're done.
Yep.
So where is the DOJ? Okay, I know Cash quite well. I believe Cash. I don't know Pam. Okay, that I'm not throwing dispersions on her, but something's not right. Why aren't you?
Again, guys, is the common sense not coming out? People are calling it out. What's going on with the Supreme Court? What's going on with Pam Bondi? What's going on with Kash Patel? It seems like everything that they said they were going to do, how fast they were going to do it, nothing has happened. People may have gotten to them. And dare I say it, gotten to people that are close to them. Guys, that I feel like the deep state and the corruption is even deeper than we ever could have imagined. Because we still haven't seen arrest. We still haven't seen nobody held accountable in Congress or Washington, D.C. Let me know your thoughts, guys, because I'm telling you, even Glenn Beck CEO of Blaze Media, everybody's starting to notice something's not right. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
You unleashing? Is it the deep state has them by the throat? What is it? But it's got to be solved. You have no.
Is that a message that you think I don't want to get into your private conversation with the president, but is that something that you would highlight? That?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You think there needs to be a sense of urgency about this?
What does any of it mean?
Why is Congress taking so much time off right now?
Ooh.
Traditional 2 weeks of vacations or 2 weeks back to the constituency they don't have town halls?
I don't know. I mean, it is.
Because collectively they're good people, but as a body,
they're horrible.
They're horrible.
Absolutely horrible. I honestly, Steve, I can't tell you. I am at a loss for DOJ. What? And I'm at a loss for Congress. And I'm at a loss on Donald Trump, man. Why aren't you using the bully pulpit to go after your own here? Eat them.
Dang.
Eat them. Tell them, oh, we're watching you. The whole country is watching you.
Yes.
Get to work. Do these things now. Have you seen the clock on the wall and the numbers spinning?
We're burning daylight.
Burning daylight.
Charlotte Sweeney, a Biden judge. She's a radical leftist, like the rest of these Biden judges. Look, I split my time between Colorado and D.C. I spent 80% of my time in Colorado. I'm very familiar with Tren de Aragua. I've seen the gangs. I've seen what
they're bad hombres that are preying on people, particularly Hispanic and African-American working class folks.
They are the worst of the worst, right? They are vicious people who are raping kids, kidnapping, robbing, raping, torturing women. They're working with the Venezuela government to sabotage our country, and the president made that finding under the Alien Enemies Act, and that finding is not reviewable. The fact that the president made this finding that these are foreign terrorists working with a foreign government is not reviewable by the court. And so this order by this judge is lawless. And this idea that she's going to write legislation saying there has to be 21 days. Think about this. President Biden let up to 30,000 people a day come into America. This is an invasion of our country. This is not illegal immigration. This is an invasion.
Yes.
Right? And so we're supposed to, and the Supreme Court in 2023, written by Justice Brett Kavanaugh, said that President Biden had the discretion to let in these people, essentially gave the president the discretion to allow this invasion. Now, the Supreme Court's going to say that President Trump can't reverse this and get these dangerous foreign terrorists the hell out of our country. That is unacceptable by the Supreme Court. Illegal aliens do not have constitutional due process rights. They have whatever Congress provides to them by statute. And the Alien Enemies Act does not provide due process for these people who the president has designated as alien enemies. They need to get the hell out of our country. And in the meantime, if these judges are going to require these due process hoops, that they suddenly care about due process after persecuting Trump supporters for 4 years and allowing that to happen. If they're going to require this due process, the president needs to detain all these illegal aliens, all of them. They're all criminals, including Tren de Aragua and MS-13 and Gitmo and Texas detention facilities. They're going to be in a holding pen while they're adjudicating their supposed due process.
Not out on the streets.
Hell no.
What?
And I want to make this clear.
Go ahead.
It's I used to be a lot more sympathetic to illegal aliens until 15 million people got mass imported into our country. Every illegal alien is a criminal, and they need to get the hell out of our country
because they broke the law and coming
absolutely.
Here.
Guys, I mean, I don't even think we can comprehend the 15 plus. I say it's 20 million people that entered our country illegally, unvetted, did not go through the process. They came here illegally, and the Democrats are doing everything in the world to try to make them citizens. If Biden or Harris would have won, I promise you, they would be citizens on the road to citizenship within 2 years. America would be forever blue. 100%, guys, the writing was on the wall. Now that we've exposed it, everybody and every judge out there is trying to stop it, and including now the Supreme Court, that Trump is now saying it's on. Things are getting deep. We're about to have a fight because you cannot You cannot sit here and say, guess what? We're going to stop you from deporting people when you did nothing whenever they were importing them at 30,000 people a day coming into our country as an invasion. The Supreme Court did nothing. That's why things are about to get crazy, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button. Guys, we're going to see America change forever in the next 2 years because of what's happening.
The Supreme Court, first off, they dropped this about the Alien Enemies Act and about whether President Trump had the rights. The deep state dropped the national intelligence estimate that said it didn't back it up, but that Venezuela was really doing this. They dropped it at 1 o'clock in the morning. Alito was so upset about it, he put out a quite sharp rejoinder on his opinion on Easter Sunday. Is the Supreme Court at a civil war with each other right now over this very issue of does President Trump, as commander-in-chief, actually have the rights to take this, reverse this invasion?
Well, let me just ask this to the 7 self-appointed generals on the Supreme Court, along with their legal team, their legal advisors at the ACLU. When exactly does the president, as commander-in-chief, get back his power to repel this invasion by these terrorists in Trinidad, working with the Venezuelan governments? Have the 7 self-appointed generals, have they run to their skiff in the Supreme Court with their military advisors at the ACLU and figured out how exactly this is going to work? I think this is unacceptable judicial sabotage by these Supreme Court justices, 7 of them. And I would remind these 7 Supreme Court justices, you wear robes, not capes. You are not superheroes. Your job is a crucial job, but it's a modest job. You are going to decide cases and controversies of the proper plaintiffs before your court with redressable claims. Nothing more, nothing less. You're not narcissist in capes. You wear judicial robes.
Guys, I'm telling you, everything is coming out now. What I'm showing you, I promise you, would never have happened if Trump didn't pull back the funding. Check this out, guys. Who you're looking at is Klaus Schwab, one of the most prominent people in the entire world, guys. You want to know Klaus Schwab's net worth? Klaus Schwab. Don't you just love that name? His net worth is... One moment. It's loading, guys. I'm sorry. He's worth about $170 million. That's a lot of money. He was in charge of the World Economic Forum. The forum that they thought that they wanted to tell everybody in the world how to live their life. He resigned. They have now started investigations into him for alleged financial and ethical misconduct. Do not tell me, guys, these crazy people that are trying to control and manipulate people aren't crazy and haven't done some messed up stuff. We're starting to see it. They're turning on themselves. There's now a new kind of crazy Democrat that's coming out called the Dark Woke Agenda. I'm about to show you. B1 Sly One, thank you so much for the gifted 5 True Life News memberships. Let's go. Y'all show B1 Sly One some love in the chat. And Mr. Tracy J. Norby for the super chat. He said, thank you all who will and are getting ready to support this True Life News family. We're awesome. And with all this support, the truth, no matter where it may lead us. Guys, appreciate y'all so much. Y'all show Mr. Norby and B1 Sly One some love in the chat. Remember, at the end of the show, we're doing our big donation, guys, to a local charity live on stream. But I want you to see this, guys, because they're trying to rebrand themselves. Nobody knows what the heck is going on. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is getting kind of like cringe, sus, crazy. Check this out.
Interview. The California governor took a swipe at the Democrats, saying, quote, I don't know what the party is. I'm still struggling with that. That criticism comes as the party tries to rebrand themselves as dark woke. The New York Times chronicling the rise of Democrats who think a new, provocative, edgy attitude will help them defeat Trump. And going dark woke is all the rage among Democrats who are desperate for authenticity.
This is what kicking the out of fascism looks like.
I think I could kick most of their I do that.
Somebody slap me and wake me the up, because I'm ready to get on with it.
Total bull. Absolute bull.
Is once you get successful, don't be a greedy bastard and not pay your taxes.
If you could speak directly to Elon Musk, what would you say?
Off. And here's more dark woke nonsense. Seinfeld creator Larry David is trashing Bill Maher for visiting Trump at the White House after writing an op-ed in the New York Times called My Dinner with Adolf. And the climate doomsdayer Al Gore comparing the Trump administration with Nazi Germany.
I understand very well why it is wrong to compare Adolf Hitler's Third Reich to any other movement. It was uniquely evil, full stop. I get it. But there are important lessons from the history of that emergent evil. The Trump administration is insisting on trying to create their own preferred version of reality.
Okay, Jesse, the New York Times says that dark woke is the way for the Dems to get their groove back. What do you say?
Well, they said that about Dark Brandon. And he didn't get his groove back. So I talked to a Democrat the other day, did it by accident. I try to avoid these people, Judge, but he told me how things used to go with Pelosi. When she ran the thing, she would get her caucus together and get out a calendar. Say, okay, Friday, the jobs numbers are coming out. On Tuesday, you're going to have a Pentagon hearing. On Thursday, NATO summit, and the next week, whatever. And she'd line up her best speakers for each of those issues, and she'd put them out on television and put them out on press conferences. And then everybody would get the same messaging. And they'd have the messaging for offense, and then they had it for defense, and then they'd have a legal strategy. And then she broke her hip, and the coup backfired, and she was collateral damage. So Hakeem is running the show. And no one fears Hakeem. Now, Nancy, if you crossed her, she'd probably launch an ethics investigation against you or strip you from your committee seat or something like that. But Hakeem doesn't have any clout. So now everybody goes wherever they want at the same time, and it's chaos. And he's afraid of the base. The base isn't afraid of them. That's why you're seeing people be rambunctious to get attention, and they're all, one's going to El Salvador, one's fighting with Fetterman. That's what you're seeing right now. So until they have someone that can run the ship like a captain, you're going to see more of this trash.
You know, that's such a good point, Dana. And the idea that, you know, the New York Times is saying that we need someone crass but discerning, rude, but only to a point. I mean, they're defining Jasmine Crockett.
So nobody does their marketing better than Democrats. How many times do they go to the well and pay consultants $1 gazillion to come up with something that is so dumb? And then the New York Times will write about it because they love process stories. Oh, look, they're really getting their act together. How is dark woke any different from before? It's a little bit more crude, it's a little bit more crass, but it's still the same result. They always do like all the easy stuff that they think is going to get them where they need to be, mostly because the media had helped them for a long time. But that ship has sailed, and I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe it is Gavin Newsom that's figured out and said, I know how to break out and be somebody who is outside of Washington, who is saying, this party has changed. Let me be the one that comes in and solves everything and tries to cobble this back together. I know that at some point the Democrats will get their act together. I just find it really hard to imagine what that looks like right now. I can't imagine it.
Good. Newsom's saying, I don't know what the Democratic Party is.
But it seems like this is trying to take a page out of the Donald Trump playbook, clearly. And we've seen them try this before, and it hasn't worked for them. Even the New York Times piece references this new form of combative rhetoric. They said they want to win back the voters who have responded to Trump's no-holds-barred version of politics, right? So they want to go after dark woke. They say they've been locked in a respectability prison. They want to grab voters' attention. And I think the only thing you can take away from this is that they're not taking a page out of Trump's playbook. He focused on the issues. He spoke to voters directly. He addressed their concerns with policy pitches, and they're still focused on the messaging.
Guys, let me tell you this. I have to show you this because this pulls everything in together. The reason, and I truly believe this, without complete transparency in our social media, X, without videos being taken down, we can now see how corrupt the Democratic Party is and how they always follow the agenda that pays them a little bit of this. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, listen to this, because this is coming out. It's circulating. It's Elizabeth Warren talking about the rate cuts, talking about lowering the interest rates, all this stuff. Because again, without the context, we're just talking, but when we pull things together, now we see the truth.
He waited too long, and the best way you can show that you waited too long and that you get it and that you are becoming more responsive to where we are on interest rates is actually go ahead and do a nice big rate cut. Keep in mind that keeping those rates high, as he has done, keeping those interest rates so high, actually has contributed to our measure of inflation. The infrastructure.
All right. So she just said, telling Jerome Powell he needs to lower the interest rates. Now listen now.
That keeps this stock market strong and therefore a big part of our economy strong and therefore a big part of the world economy strong is the idea that the big pieces move independent of the politics, that somebody is making her best decisions economically and independently. We understand that if the New York Stock Exchange, if interest rates in the United States are subject to a president who just wants to wave his magic wand, this doesn't distinguish us then from any other two-bit dictatorship around the world.
You see that? So how does it even make sense that within a matter of months, the party that literally goes back and forth, flip-flop, I'm okay for this whenever it's our president in office, but whenever it's Donald Trump, no, we can't do that because we're going to be a dictatorship. We can't lower the rates. Guys, accountability matters. That's why I love showing you all this stuff, because we're showing you the full context.
And what is that messaging, Greg?
That's a great question. They have no messaging. First of all, you got Al Gore and Larry David comparing the Trump administration to Hitler. They haven't been arrested for that. So that doesn't help their argument, does it? They don't care. The comparison still happens despite millions voting for this Hitlerian person. And I'm counting among his supporters, Jewish leaders and philanthropists, RFK Jr. and his wife Cheryl, who was in Curb Your Enthusiasm. Those are all apparently Nazi collaborators. It won't matter because to these lazy minds, calling somebody Hitler isn't a big deal to them. They've reduced the smear to just people that they don't like. It's no longer a mass murderer. So who knew liberals would be the one who gives Hitler a makeover?
Wow.
Now he's just some guy you don't get along with. Oh, he's like Hitler. I don't get along with him. Oh, I get it. Dark woke sounds like a new coffee brand at the Starbucks menu. It's like, I'll have a dark woke Colombian. But they're not doing it. I think what Gavin's doing and the party isn't doing is the heavy lifting. We've talked about the fact that they don't have any ideas, and we point this out. And the reason is because underneath whatever is generating their ideas is an ideology that prevents you from thinking outside your failed ideas and thinking of new ones. Of course, that's identity politics. It creates a tiny confined space, and it tells you that the outside world is contaminated. It's a reason why a new idea can't get out of bed because it's strapped to a gurney with a fat woke lady sitting on its chest. Imagine like you're going to a beautiful party. And you want to go, it looks great, it's wonderful, but you're with a friend who says, you don't want to go in there. You're going to hate it. It's going to suck. That friend is no friend. That's identity politics, and that beautiful party is life. You become a boy in a plastic bubble, allergic to real human connection because you're not supposed to connect with those people because they're the oppressor. So behind this adherence to identity politics is ultimately a fear of this, that your entire mindset has been a waste. It's the sunk cost fallacy that I bring up a lot. A sunk cost of a bad relationship is not a reason to stay in a bad relationship. It's why wokeism, like a drug or like a violent spouse, will say, if you ever leave me, you'll die. It's why when people leave the left turns on them, just like an angry spouse.
Guys, I'm telling you guys that if we're not seeing, like, guys, let me tell you this. I'm going to show you this because we have a problem with the government. Nobody gets fired. Nobody's held accountable. When the government, it's the most inefficient system in the United States is the federal government. Why do you think as a business person, Elon Musk, Trump have come in and said, hey, we got to cut. We got to cut. We got to make some cuts. We got to make things more efficient. But this is just out of Houston, guys. This is the type of personnel that are working. In 1 year, 9/11 operator Crescendo Williams hung up on over 2,000 Houstonians. This happened in Houston, Texas, reporting emergencies. She told police if she wasn't in the mood, she'd just hang up. She got 10 days in jail. Too many government workers are allowed to get away with negligence just like this. How much you want to bet that? I promise you there's some lives that were affected in a very harsh way because she didn't do her job. Not held accountable. How could you do this for an entire year? Who was her boss? How come we have such negligence that goes unnoticed? Guys, this is happening at the federal level as well. This is what blows my mind, that people are getting mad at Trump and Elon for exposing fraud, waste, and abuse when it's like, are you so naive that you don't think that these politicians and Washington, D.C. people are profiting off the taxpayers? You got to be kidding me. How is it that every single big Democrat is worth hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, despite only making $174,000 a freaking year? Doesn't logically make sense. Never owned a company, never sold a company. That's usually how you become ultra wealthy. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to say thank you so much, Teresa Weber, for the super chat. Said no legal EDU required to be a judge. Quit my job, be a federal judge for @Donald Trump. Hand out a paper with due process, print out it, and ship them out. Let's go. And thank you so much, JH, who said Scouts needs to unify. SCOTUS needs to unify behind Trump. Love you, Joel, and TrueLife News family. Love you too, bro. Y'all show JH and Teresa some love in the chat, guys. I'm so excited. Just a few moments, we're going to be doing our big donation live on stream to the local charity. Thank you so much for your support. Guys, check this out, because again, too, it's all coming out. These people are so uncoordinated, such a theatrical. You cannot make this up, what I'm about to show you.
It's indicating Kilmar Abrego Garcia is in fact a gang member as well as a wife beater. Loony Democrats have been forced to morph this fight for his return into a fight for due process. Chris Van Hollen has become a left-wing celebrity for going to El Salvador and having that margarita with Abrego Garcia. And today, 4 more members of Congress copycatted the senator, hoping to be new Democrat darlings with their own trip, posting videos online. And after allowing 15 million people to enter our country with no process, they're demanding new process for anyone we send home, and for a likely gang member whose wife had a protective order against him. Again, these people choosing to die on the absolute dumbest of all hills. Credit where credit is due, as always on this show. While Van Hollen was gleefully doing his media tour and soaking up all of the attention from it, CNN actually hit him with a question he didn't expect, and it was not pretty.
Can you say with absolute certainty that he is not, nor has he ever been, a member of the MS-13 gang? And did you ask him point blank?
Well, Dana, what Donald Trump is trying to do here is change the subject.
You didn't ask him?
I didn't ask him that because I know what his answer is.
Did you ask him about this? His first word, Donald Trump. That's what they always do, right?
Always
Trump
Donald
is trying
Trump.
to change the subject, Van Hollen claims, while desperately trying to change the subject. Van Hollen can't ask him about being in MS-13 because the answer very likely will ruin his entire grift. He can't ask that question, and we all know why. He then claims it doesn't really matter. Really? Now, he's a gang member, so he's considered a terrorist. He's a foreign gang member, so now he's considered a terrorist in this country.
Guys, do you hear the logic? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, how do they even process things? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, if you appreciate this. If you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button. This, to me, again, how do people on the left justify what they are seeing?
And the usage of the Alien Enemies Act would be adequate for his removal, if that were the case. So, yeah, it does matter. And we know why you didn't ask. Van Hollen was on 5 Sunday shows yesterday. He did everything. The definition of a grandstander, which is what he's been labeled by the White House. He's worked harder for one unwanted, illegal, possible gang member than he ever has for the citizens of his own state. He was asked about Rachel Morin over the weekend, the mother of 5 killed by an illegal in his own state, after her mother called out the senator from the White House.
Why does that person have more right than I do, or my daughter?
What is your response to Mrs. Morin?
My heart goes out to the Morin family. They experienced an unspeakable tragedy in the murder of their daughter, and I said at the time that my heart goes out to the Morin family. I'm not sure why Abrego Garcia's rights should be denied based on an awful murder that he had absolutely nothing to do with.
Guys, oh my goodness, like, it's so hard for me to show you this stuff because, again, it's exposing how it's not that he did it, it's that he's an illegal. You are advocating for illegals to be in the country, and when you do this, you're putting at risk a lot of innocent people, because a lot of these that we're trying to get out are criminals, literally have backgrounds of bad behavior, and they're fighting to keep them in the country. This, to me, guys, I'm telling you, I feel like the left Democratic Party is so far gone. I don't know. I truly believe they're gone. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. But when you can sit there and not even acknowledge that, you know what? This wouldn't happen if we didn't have these criminal illegals in our country.
He didn't say his heart went out, by the way. His staff put it in a statement, one official statement from his office. And as far as due process is concerned, it's quite rich from the party that weaponizes the justice system against its political enemies, isn't it? We watched due process tossed basically out the window for most anybody involved in January 6th. And in dark blue New York, lawmakers actually changed a law so that they could attack Donald Trump over a baseless allegation. The Adult Survivors Act gave a 1-year window for people claiming they've been sexually abused to file lawsuits from ages ago. They did it all to get Trump. E. Jean Carroll alleges Trump raped her, you know this story, but can't remember the year. Alleges she was wearing a dress that hadn't been created yet at the time, and has a story that is identical to an episode of a popular TV show, but New York Democrats changed the law so that E. Jean Carroll could take $90 million from Donald Trump in a court system that's just as ridiculous as you know New York's is. And now we have Democrats flying to El Salvador on their own dime to scream at a foreign government to hand over one of their own citizens to us. That's how crazy this is getting. And their allies in the media have gone completely nuts.
If they could do it to them, if they could snatch students off the street without any pushback or recourse, they will do it to any of us. To be very clear, it's going to be the people of color and vulnerable communities that are next in line.
Guys, vulnerable communities. You know what? You know, when I see this, I really feel like if there isn't so much corruption going on, and it's hard to pinpoint everything down. Guys, I'm trying to show you all the breaking news and all the crazy stuff that's happening. But I wanted to show you this because things are happening that you don't even realize that are allowing for illegals to stay, that are literally disrupting so much and keeping, remember, we got to keep the families together. Listen to this. Illegals from El Salvador are being coached to describe their children as native Alaskans when they enroll them in school. As a result, Texas schools are full of Spanish-speaking Alaskan students, and teachers aren't allowed to correct the data. Guys, you can't make this stuff up. This is what's happening behind the scenes. This is the little ways, because if they have about 1,000 different ways that they're working to keep illegal immigrants in the country, and this is one of them. And guys, it frustrates me because it's like, when are we going to see the change? When is somebody going to be put in jail? Warrior Woman, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said the gates of hell will not prevail. Amen. Thank you so much, David Sterling, for the super chat. And thank you so much, Teresa Weber again, who said, on Viral X with Elizabeth W., did she not know there was a camera? She gave him several looks as if he's putting her on the spot. Guys, I'm telling you, they are being caught. Y'all show Teresa, David, guys, and Warrior Woman some love in the chat. But again, one of the persons that's coming out to fight is one of the biggest pit bulls. Guys, I'm honest, I didn't even know this person existed, but I'm so glad he does, and he's on Trump's team. Let me know your thoughts. Check this out.
Truth. Congresswoman, we appreciate it. Stephen, TV, join me now, Stephen Miller, White House Deputy Chief of Staff. Stephen, your response. Hard to do these remotes with a little bit of a delay there, but I'm glad she came on.
To hear the words rule of law come out of her mouth is so disturbing and appalling. She and her party presided over the mass invasion of America, 20 million illegal aliens coming into our country, stealing our jobs, stealing our tax benefits, committing crimes of rape, torture, and murder against American citizens that doesn't elicit even an ounce of empathy or sympathy from the pro-illegal alien gangster Democrat Party. She's also dead wrong about the Supreme Court ruling. They reversed the lower court and said the lower court cannot tell the president how to conduct the foreign policy of the United States. That was the 9-0 ruling. This illegal alien, who is a member of a foreign terrorist organization that has wreaked havoc across this country, MS-13, has received more due process than almost any American citizen who has been persecuted by their government over the last 4 years, who were jailed, imprisoned, and deplatformed by the Biden administration. We are watching the Democrat Party twist itself into knots to give every illegal alien terrorist an MS-13 and trained air wagwa more process, more court time, more intervention than any innocent American citizen has ever received. It turns my stomach. Americans want these terrorists the hell out of our country.
Yes.
Stephen, if the court stays on the facilitation of his return angle, and then this becomes a debate about, okay, show us what you did to try to facilitate his return. Then what? What happens in that regard? Because I kind of see that's where this is going. It's like, okay, we can't force you, but did you try to facilitate? You know what I mean? Like, these judges are just appalling. But I have a feeling that's the way it's going to move.
No court in this country, least of all a district court, has the power to compel the president of El Salvador to free one of his own citizens, an illegal alien in our country who's a citizen of his country, a subject of El Salvador, who under El Salvador's laws is also a terrorist in our country, a terrorist in his country.
Dang.
El Salvador is not subject to the court rulings of the United States. To suggest they are
they didn't
would
say
be preposterous.
Yeah. They said
But that's the bottom line. He is in the custody of El Salvador, a sovereign country.
Right.
He's not in our
It doesn't
custody.
make
But
any
Laura,
sense.
you have the entire Democrat Party that is in love with this gangster in El Salvador who beat his wife, who's a member of a terrorist organization, who has code for MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles. And you've seen the amount of coverage, the amount of discussion over this one illegal alien gangster. What was the reprieve for Americans who watched their communities get occupied by these foreign gangs? Where was their due process? Where was their rights? Where was the media and where were the courts when their loved ones were getting beaten, raped, and murdered? That's who President Trump is fighting for, not foreign terrorists, Americans.
And Stephen, we appreciate it. Thank you very much for joining us.
Guys, again, like we showed you this earlier, but like, where's the due process for actual American citizens? Like right here. Because I showed you earlier, January 6th, political prisoners have launched the historic $50 billion class action lawsuit against the DOJ. We are seeing unprecedented moves by these Democratic senators to go out of their way, flying, guys, long flights for an illegal. But yet, they didn't stand up for anybody that lost their lives, and they actually voted against the Laken Riley Act in Congress whenever they were, Republicans were trying to protect American citizens? Where was their due process? Where I'm telling you guys, if there's, I want the DOJ, and I don't know, let me know your thoughts. Pam Bondi, like just like Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson showed his colors, true colors, last December. Whenever he brought out a fat bill with a lot of pork to pass it, and if it wasn't for DOGE, he would have. And now we're saying like, Bondi, where's the Epstein files? Where's the JFK files? Where's all the stuff that you said you were going to put out day one? Jackie Pastor, thank you so much for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. Let's go. Y'all show Jackie some love in the chat if you got a membership. And thank you so much, Glow, for the super chat. Said the Heavenly Father, His Son, Jesus Christ is in control. Have faith and be still. Amen. Let's go. Y'all show Glow some love in the chat. Guys, because I'm telling you, like, there's what I'm about to show you next. They're attacking a lot of the true believers, the true patriots that are actually doing something in Congress. And I feel like these people need Secret Service protection with what you're about to see next.
To do her job here with her side of the story, Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman, well, apparently you've had a very eventful weekend. Apparently there's another video I was just told you might have put up, but let's go to this video in particular. What happened? What was going on behind the scenes? And how did the issue of gay rights come up in that conversation?
Well, right. I just wanted some face wash. That was it. I went to the store. I had a little bit of time to myself on Saturday afternoon, want to go shopping like I do. I'm a normal person. I do my own grocery shopping. And this guy approached me, and I will tell you, I felt threatened. I felt harassed. And I will tell you, as someone who's experienced trauma in her life, and a lot of women will understand what I'm talking about, when some guy gets in your face and approaches you in the aggressive manner that he did, and you feel like you're in danger, instinctively, as women who've been through trauma, who've survived sexual assault, survived domestic abuse, you have two options. You can fight or you can flee. And Sean, I'm a fighter. And I've never stood back down from a fight. I will stand my ground like any strong woman should. And I will tell you, this was the third incident I had last week alone. The incidences of threats, the threat of violence, the people coming up and harassing me in public has increased exponentially over the last 6 months since I came out standing up against the trans community, standing up against men in women's dresses. And I just had an event at the University of South.
Guys, if you appreciate Nancy Mace, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, guys, 3 times in 1 week.
Carolina, about an hour ago, I wrapped it up, and a man in a dress picked up a potted plant and acted like he was going to throw it against me. I just posted that video on Twitter. You can follow it at Nancy Mace or nancymace.org. You can find it online. But my security team thought he was going to throw the plant at me because I used the word babe. He was offended by it. And then I used the word trans, and he was more offended by it. But the lunatics on the left, they're dangerous. And women need to stand up for themselves. And I was the first member of Congress to say, I'm going to hold the line for women and girls everywhere.
Let's go.
And since that time, the amount of aggression that I've had from mentally ill men, from men in dresses, from men approaching me in public like this guy, this Daisy Dukes guy, the short shorts guy, just as I was trying to buy face wash. It's not okay. And condoning this kind of behavior is only going to lead to violence.
Or did anything happen prior to you start? It was not. What happened prior to that?
Well, he started up on me prior to this, and I fumbled. I tried to get my phone out as quick as I could, but I had a bag, and I tried to pull it out fast and start recording as much as I could. I've decided that I'm going to start recording these people in public. I probably don't have enough iPhone space on my phone, but I deal with this stuff day in and day out. This was the third incident I had last week alone, and the week before that, there was a man in Pennsylvania who was arrested from Butler, Pennsylvania, that threatened the president, President Trump. I was the only member of Congress. He threatened to put a bullet in my skull. Most of this stems from my position about protecting women and girls in private spaces. And inherently as a woman, when a man like this comes up to me and is aggressive in public or private,
inherently, I'm going to fight back. I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to be a strong woman because I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Men like this, it's not okay. This kind of aggression is going to get someone hurt or worse, and it's not something I condone. I'll stand up and fight for every woman and girl everywhere.
We see those on the left that have been pro-Hamas, a designated terrorist organization. Some on the left, this obsession with Luigi Mangione, the alleged assassin of the United Healthcare CEO. We've seen domestic terrorism at Tesla dealerships against Tesla owners and charging stations, open calls for assassination of people like Elon Musk and President Trump. It seems like everything's getting really ratcheted up. The left's gone really off the deep end, and I'm very concerned about violence. Why don't you have security with you at all times?
Well, in this instance, I was on my personal time. I can't afford personal private security. I have to reassess my movements now and perhaps trying to hide the way that I look.
Guys, I feel like we should call for Trump, Elon Musk, that anybody that's like a person like her that's actually fighting, true patriot, true believer for Trump deserves protection. If you're getting harassed 3 times in a week, like that's not okay. Let me know your thoughts in the comments because I'm like, only bad things can happen, guys.
So I can go out in public. Tonight, though, at a public event, I was able to have 6 armed security guards. I needed to have that, and even still with 6 armed security guards, we had a man in a dress who picked up a potted plant. It looked like he was going to toss it at me or throw it at me until the police moved in. That's the kind of threats that conservatives are facing, like Elon Musk, like Donald Trump, every single day. And we have to stand up and fight back and fight for ourselves, stand up for our own freedom. That's what it's about.
Okay. Oh, Congresswoman, I'm glad.
Guys, like, again, it makes me nervous because I'm just like, man, I don't want nothing to happen to them. And even, too, on the other side, I don't want nothing to happen to any of the Democrats. Like, again, we're all Americans. We all should be protected. But when it comes to these crazy, deranged people that are losing it, like, I feel like something needs to happen in terms of protection. Guys, I wanted to play this for you. This is Elon Musk himself today talking about what's going on. It's an audio recording because I'm telling you guys, he's about to take the next step. And from what I'm seeing, I hope it's more of that senior advisor role so that way he can do more stuff to fix the brokenness in our government.
Well, it's
check this out.
Never a dull moment these days. One thing's for sure, every day is going to be exciting. As people know, there's been some blowback for the time that I've been spending in government with the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE. I think the work that we're doing there is actually very important for trying to rein in the insane deficit that is leading our country, the United States, to destruction. And the DOGE team has made a lot of progress in addressing waste and fraud. The natural blowback from that is those who were receiving the wasteful dollars and the fraudulent dollars will try to attack me and DOGE team and anything associated with me. So, but then I'm really left with 2 choices. Should we just let the waste and fraud continue? We're continuing at it to grow at a really unsustainable pace that was bankrupting the country, or to fight the waste and fraud and try to get the country back on the right track. And I believe the right thing to do is to fight the waste and fraud and get the country back on the right track, and working together with President Trump and his administration. Because if the ship of America goes down, we all go down with it, including Tesla and everyone else. So I think this is this critical work. Now, the protests that you'll see out there, they're very organized. They're paid for. They're obviously not going to admit that the reason that they're protesting is because they're receiving fraudulent money, or that they're the recipients of wasteful largesse. But they're going to come up with some other reason. But that is the real reason for the protests. The actual reason is that is that those receiving the waste and fraud wish to continue receiving it. That is the real thing that's going on here, obviously.
You hear that, guys? I mean, it's like he's speaking, and he's just speaking like a normal person from the heart, guys. We're trying to cut out the fraud, waste, and abuse. We're fighting all this opposition. This right here, it just blows my mind because it's like the deep state is so real, guys. If you appreciate this, want to say, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, want to say thank you guys to everybody who is watching, guys, to all of our subscribers, all of our viewers. If you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family. We want to serve you every day with the top news. We're about to transition, guys. This is we do this every single month. On the 22nd of every single month, we donate to a local charity live on stream. And I'm so thankful, guys, to say that we are about to donate $2,100 to this local charity, guys. Let's go. Thank you so much, everybody that is a member of the channel. Everybody that gives a super chat donation. Guys, it means the world to us that you support us. And whenever you donate, guys, just know we're transparent. Look, YouTube takes a good portion of a good percentage of it, guys. And I'm not talking about 5, 10, 15, 20. It's like 30+% of the money that you donate. But when we get that money, we are about to donate it live on stream to this charity called New Beginnings. And it's with your support, guys. I want to give some love to everybody that's donated thus far tonight. Miss Ruby Hoove, Mr. Tracy J. Norby, Teresa Weber, B1 Sly One, JH, Warrior Woman for JC, David Sterling, Jackie Pastor, Glow. Guys, show them some love in the chat. Guys, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart that me and my family are so grateful that we get to serve you. And not only that, that you partner with us as we donate to this local charity. You can go to it. It's newbeginningsadoptions.org. It's a local charity, guys, because one of the things we don't do is donate to big charities. The reason I'm telling you this is because I've done my research. Most big charities, the majority of a lot of the money goes to administration costs. I'm not paying somebody to do paperwork. I want to see lives changed. And with this charity, this helps out if you're a birth mother. So if you're facing, if you're facing an unplanned pregnancy and aren't sure where to turn, they bring you help. If you want to adopt, if you're struggling to start a family or wanting to grow, they help with the adoption. They create these forever families, guys. Whenever there's kids that ain't got nowhere to go, they help out and they bring the love, compassion to this. And that's why we're about to donate, guys. I'm so man, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. But my heart, guys, it really moves my heart because this is, we're not donating $100, guys. We're donating $2,100 to this charity. And it's because of you. I want to say, Mark Gonzalez, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. And right, you're seeing it. You're going to see it live on stream, guys. I'm going to hit the donate button. We're going to the screen, New Beginnings. We're going to type in our $2,100 that we're going to give. And then right here, y'all know my name, guys. Now this part, now real quick, I got it. I'm going to, whoa. You're, yes. Hey, calm down. We're going to donate. Just calm down. Real quick, I'm going to pull off screen, put my address in, and then put the details in, guys, and go back and show you the amount. But, guys, this means so much to me. And, again, we could not do this without you. It means the world to us that you support us. And I just think that whenever I started this channel, I never imagined we'd be able to do this. I never imagined we'd have so much support. And to see how many people support us each and every single month means the world to us. And whenever we give, right here, you see $2,100. Now I'm going to put in the other personal information of the amount. Press support, give. It's processing, guys. Right here. Live on stream, guys. Thank you, Joel. Your gift of $2,100 will make a difference. Guys, thank you so much. Everybody who's still watching, everybody that's supporting our channel, everybody that is there. Like, we couldn't thank you enough. It means the world to us that you support us, and this is what it's all about. We're giving back. And I want to say thank you so much, guys. We're so thankful. We're so, we started out, and I think, like, in the beginning, it wasn't that, you know, we did $400 or $500, and then we kept growing, and it's growing, and it's growing, guys. And it's all because of you. And I just want to say we love you all. We appreciate you so much. We're here to serve you Monday through Friday, 2 shows a day, 1 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. And it's all because of you, guys. We love you, and when you share these videos, when you like these videos, we're so thankful. Show some love in the chat. Guys, show some love to those that are members, to those that give. We love you so much, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.